Okay, hey guys, sorry, I'm back. The live just abruptly ended. I think there's like connection issues. So it just ended. I mean, at least YouTube didn't send me a message like, yes, your live has been ended. Your live has been ended. You've done something wrong. I'll just be waiting for you guys if you feel like joining again. Sorry the live ended. I'm just gonna edit the title, let people know this is the part 2 of that live. Sorry the live ended on the first one. It just like abruptly ended. But I'm back. Thank you for understanding. So the first video is up, and I'm going to leave that up for replay because I actually put the story on there. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, so I was saying, Azazel Black, like be careful who you invite into your life, because I mean, people get super crazy, you know, and then there are people like men who get beat up by their babes, you know. I mean, actually a lot of guys in abusive relationships, but they don't talk about it, cuz you know how society will look at them like, how are you letting her do that to you? And let me tell you, some people just know how to manipulate the minds of others. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, but women do it to men as well. Have you have you ever been in like any confrontational situation with your partner? Greetings, everyone. Whoever's just joining the live, there is a live that I already did that includes the story that I narrated. So, the beginning, right away in that live, is the narration of the story, and it's regarding a wife who kept her affair a secret from her husband for 3 years. She was sleeping with her ex. So, that should be on my channel. Hello, Plazdra. I hope I said your name correctly. Greetings. How are you doing? I previously did a live already, and I'm on this live now because that one ended abruptly. So, sorry about that. Azazel, you said my ex once kissed a guy, and I was angry but understood why she did it. What? Why did she do it? Please just to me. Like, what's going on with that? That sounds kind of shady. You seem to be like a very relaxed person, cause you'll be way nice to these women. Like, I'm not saying you can't be nice to women, but I'm saying like the women out here just behaving in a rude and disgusting, like disrespectful way. Oh, and cheating on people. Like, that's not nice. They don't get a pass for that. Not at all. And so I'm not going to condone that type of behavior. I'm just looking at my other live video. Most people mistaken my name a lot. Plazdra. Plazdra. Please tell me the significance of your name, Plazdra. Do you speak any other languages besides English? That name's it just reminds me of something. Yes, cheating is always a choice. It's the intention. It's the intention, right? Like, you made that step. You made those secret phone calls. You met up with that person, right? It's not by accident. And that's what a lot of cheaters say. Oh, I'm sorry. I was an accident. I didn't know what I was thinking. Oh, well, in that time you were thinking you want to feel good. So I'm sure that was no accident. And so, like in the story before, she didn't say, let me read the title. The title, it's from the subgroup Our Confession. And the title is, I cheated on my sweetheart of a husband for 3 years with my violent, abusive ex. This is the one secret I am taking to my grave. And she's very proud of that. Like, the person who wrote the story, super proud of that. Wow. That's a deep name. Plasdra. That is a deep name. And you know what? Like, oh my gosh. How deep is plasma? Like, I'm talking about out of this world space type of plasma, you know? Like a manifestation type of plasma. Like, okay, and dragon itself, that's so deep. Like, the strength behind that. Okay, let me stop. I'm out of deep mode. So back to this Our Confession story. Yeah, she was cheating on her husband. And she's like, I'm taking it to the grave. I'm not going to tell him. Because look, she's ready. She's at the point where she said her and her husband, they want to start a family, right? So now that you got your bad, rough guy out of your system, now you're ready for your husband. Now you're ready for the white picket fence. Now you're ready to be faithful. After you've had your dose of several booty calls in this 3-year span. No, I don't think she has it out of her system. Not at all. And she said, oh, I'm 100% over this guy and I'm going to stop. No, she's not. Like, she even said he's addictive. Do you know addiction, when you're addictive to something or someone, like, it's a lifelong battle. So look at how weak she was already, you know, opening her legs to this guy. You think that is over with? No, because she likes it. She likes him. She likes to be, like, you know, pushed around and all that stuff, because guess what? Her husband is too nerdy. That's what she said. Her words, not mine. Her husband is too nerdy. You know, he's an introvert. And she said that he's getting better with that. Girl, why do introverts need to get better with that? What is to get better? Because, okay, I myself, I'm an introvert. However, when social situations arise, I can put on my extrovert behavior or whatever. So she wants to change him, but never once looks at herself. You know, and sadly, women, because I'm a woman myself, I know how we can project things onto other people. And we want things to be a certain way. We want someone, especially a man, we want him to be this and we want him to be that. But as soon as he start asking us for stuff, like how to be something or how to treat him or respect him, like, we get upset. She seems like that same person. Imagine if her husband had enough balls to tell her, well, beesh, do this, you know, do that, stay in more, stop going out, and who's calling you? Let me see your phone, right? She's gonna get hostile about that. Yeah, Azazel Black, you said you're an introvert too. Oh, twinsies. Yeah, watch out for cheaters. Flaja, you're an introvert too. Yeah, nothing's wrong with being an introvert. And actually, during this pandemic, or panoramic, whatever people want to call it, I've been just fine. I've been just fine off of my little bubble. And Plaja, you asked what's her reasoning? She has no reasoning. You know, she's just into what her body feels like doing, and just the way her mind is set up. She just likes it rough. Some people just like it rough. If you do, be in a relationship with somebody who can rough you up then. But don't turn around and then call that being abusive, because you invited that into your life. And now that she's in a relationship with her husband, because this guy is her ex that she's having an affair with. So they were in a relationship, but now you're with someone who's the opposite. She's with someone who's the opposite of her ex. And then now who's the total opposite, right? And who's a nice guy. And now she's compromising his life, right? By messing around with the other guy. You know, he's compromising his safety because she said her ex is crazy. You know, he wants to meet up with her and she drops everything. And she can't stop doing it because she's addictive. Yes, she said she's over him 100%. However, if she's over him, why did she post this story on Reddit? Because she wanted to be seen. She had to tell somebody because she's not over him. Yeah, it's really nasty. And then when she described her husband, she said, I didn't realize how lucky I was to have him. And basically from the moment we started dating and until 2 years into our marriage, I was hooking up with my ex. Yeah, right. So she said she didn't realize how lucky she was to have. Oh my gosh. And then 2 years into her marriage, she started hooking up with her ex. Yeah. Yeah, so you're real lucky to have your husband. Because if he knew what you were doing, if he knew where you were for happy hour, yeah, would you be feeling so lucky then? And she said she invited her ex to her wedding. Like, who does that? You invited your crazy ex to your wedding, one who's still after you, one who you're still having relations with. And she said, my ex didn't care that I was with my husband. Yeah, so he's nasty, so nasty. And he knew he had me still. So he doesn't mind sharing. Ugh, the cesspool. Imagine she's kissing both guys. She's doing all these things, swapping fluids with them, you know, skin to skin with both of them. Oh my gosh. Ugh, this is so disgusting. If only her husband knew. She said even after the wedding, that for some stupid reason, I invited him, her ex. He still came onto me hard, like flirting with her or trying to be with her. Like, no, don't try to act like it was one-sided. They both wanted to be together. That's why she invited him. And for some sick reason, can you picture that in your head? Her inviting the ex to the wedding or whatever to see her husband, like he needs to put his stamp of approval on him. Like, yeah, he's a nice guy. We're gonna get over on him. People think, you know what? Scammers, couple scammers, right? That's what they sound like. They sound like some bootleg Bonnie and Clyde who want to live out some adventures and stuff like that. You know, she's on call when he needs her, like, because she's a down B, you know? And then she said, the affair is now over. But I'll always be haunted by what I did. Lies. If anything, it's not a haunting. It's more like a permanent wet dream for her. Like, she's going to live out this dream that she had with this guy in real life, you know? That's what that is. She said, my husband doesn't know anything, and I think it would crush him to hear about the affair. You think? I know it's behind me, and I'm committed to being the best wife I can be going forward. That's, you know what that sounds like? Remember, if you guys remember when this whole thing about don't do drugs was going around, be the best person you can be in life. This whole fake stuff. And now everybody's out there smoking. I can't with this lady. I'm so over it. Yeah, she loves her husband, but yet she's cheating. Exactly, Plazdra. And she likes it. And she said she's taking this secret to the grave. Yeah, along with your ex, who might even put her there. Azazel, you said the reason she left the ex because he was broke. He doesn't have a great father. Yep. Exactly. So it's like, when women feel like, okay, well, this man, like I said, it's like a scam because your man that you're currently with doesn't have a bag. He's not stable enough, right? So she needs somebody to be stable to feed to both of her and her ex, you know? For all we know, she's sending her, like, the ex a stipend a month, you know? And every time they meet up, who's paying for everything? Probably her. You know, her ex probably gets off spending the husband's money. It's a cold world out here. I mean, be ready to be scammed. Be ready to be scammed by the people that are closest to you. You know, the husband is getting scammed. He's investing in his wife, right? That's like an investment. Sorry, but let's look at it like that. He's investing in her. He wants her to have children with him, right? He wants to build a life with her, you know? And he's putting his all into it financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever levels, and giving her attention at the same time. Do you know how hard that is? And then here she goes throwing it all away to be with some dumpster diving crazy. Like, it's sad. Yeah, that was in the 80s. don't do drugs. But yeah, I was a kid. And I heard, and you still hear like certain ads and stuff running, telling people, be the best people you can be. Yeah, whatever. Teach people how to be like in respectable relationships. How about that? Because the crap that they show on TV, you know how they teach us what love is? When I was in high school or middle school, and all the movies that I used to watch, like that had romance in it, it was disgusting. And can you believe I used to be looking at it like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. That is so interesting. And then when I got older, I was like, that is toxic. Everything that I saw on TV and was learning about what love is and relationships and stuff, I was like, that's so the conditioning is real. And it's scary because I think, dang, if I was conditioned like that, well, luckily I never acted on it, you know, with someone in a relationship being toxic and stuff in those ways that we're showing in movies. But man, just think about the person that I could have been. That's sad. So Flaja, you said, to be honest, our life will always be a living hell no matter how we live it, but that doesn't mean we can't make the best of it. Absolutely. Like, can you believe, this is no joke, this is without like any controlled substances, I'm always happy every day. But my happiness is not like disgusting happiness where it's fake. Mine is just that I'm content, you know? I'm content with my small home. I'm content with my small things inside my home. I'm content with not having too much to material things in my home, you know? Listen, I'm happy with making a run to Target. Can you believe that? To pick up my groceries, and I just go through drive-through. It's like a drive-up service. That makes me so happy because I'm like, yay, I don't have to go in there and be overly stimulated by all these crazy people in there. You know, walking around like pigeons, don't know where to go. You know, people arguing about wearing a mask and all that stuff. That stuff is like, it gets my anxiety up. So just the small things in life make me happy. Me going to the park, you know, me going to the beach, like running my toes through the sand. That's like, oh my gosh, that's happy. That makes me happy. Me being around people that like I care about, that care about me, you know, where we can be just like real with ourselves. Even if we have like crappy thoughts sometimes or moments or something, that doesn't mean that you're unhappy or you're not content, right? That just means you're having a human experience. But all this cheating and crap that's going on, no, that's some out of this world. Listen, you better take that shit to Pluto. Yeah, absolutely. Azazel Black, you can ask a question. Absolutely. We're all waiting on you. If anyone just joined the live, I hope you're doing well today. I really do hope you're living your best life the way you want to live it, not comparing it to someone else's, you know? We're still waiting on you, Azazel Black. I mean, well, there's some lag time with the lives and all that. A live is like not really alive. You said, do people seem to have conversations with you out of nowhere? Absolutely. I'm that person at work. People start talking to me about all types of subjects, and I'm cool with that because I can just like talk about almost anything. Literally. And like I've always been a person that I want people to feel comfortable around me, you know? And just because I just don't like I don't like, how do I say, intimidating people, and I don't like people to feel as if I know more than them, or like I'm better than them or anything. No, I like to be humble, down to earth type of person that it's like if you need to fart, like it's totally natural. Go ahead and do it. That kind of person. I know this TMI. People are like, how are you talking from about our confessions all the way to like farting? We just got here somehow. For the people who joined the live, I recently did a previous live where I narrated a story. It was pre-recorded, so it plays right in the beginning of that live. And then after that, I was having some dialogue with some people in the chat. And so you can check that video out. I will keep that posted, okay? So that's where the original story is at. And the title of the story is I cheated on my sweetheart of a husband for 3 years with my violent, abusive ex. This is the one secret I am taking to my grave. So that's what we were discussing. Yeah, for the people who just joined the live. Oh, and if you are in the live, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. But hey, it's okay if you hit the thumbs down, okay? Azazel, you said, I get that. You get that all the time, no matter where you go. Yeah, because even if I have earphones on, people want to talk. And that's fine because a lot of times we, in our society, we don't really talk to each other. We're just like that hi-bye society. Like when you ask someone, hey, how are you doing? You know, it's not really like they want to know how you're doing, right? But me, for real, like when in the beginning of my videos, you know, I say that, you know, welcome to Ridiculous. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. I hope you're living your best life. Like, I actually do mean that, you know? And when I talk to people, when I ask them, hey, how are you doing? Like, I mean that, you know, because in English is a tricky language. We never say what we mean and we never mean what we say, you know? And so if you look at any other languages in the world, it's kind of like, especially German, like things really don't change in that language, you know? There's no leeway for making changes or not meaning what you meant to say, right? It just is what it is. Very upfront. Germans are very upfront people in their language. So, but English speakers, like everything's so loose and flexible that it's just so confusing, and no wonder people are so confused in these Western worlds, you know? Well, English speaking worlds. So yeah, I do get that a lot. So yes, anyone who just joined the live, we were just talking about a story. And once again, it's from the r/confession subreddit. And it's about a woman who cheated on her husband for 3 years. That's what she says, but I take it with a grain of salt. And she said she's taken her cheating lifestyle to the grave. She's never going to tell her husband. And yeah, so her behavior is just ew. Do you even consider learning a language? Yo hablo español, je parle français. So, yeah, I can speak other languages. When I was in high school, I loved learning about other people and cultures, and I felt like, well, these people come to the US all the time. Like, why not? Let me try to learn something about them. So I would at least try to learn something from their language and actually try to learn, you know? So, and one of my best friends was from a state her family from a state in India called Gujarat. So, and I used to watch Bollywood films all the time, like Indian movies. So I learned some Hindi from there. Hindi aati hai. Aapka naam kya hai? Mera naam ridiculous. Hey. So yeah, yo hablo espagnol. Je parle français. J'ai eu la classe de français pour 3 ans. Yeah, so. But bonjour tout le monde. Hola todos. So was there an update to the story? Find out. I didn't see an update. Oh, excuse me. She said sorry for the throwaway. So she used a throwaway account. So I have no idea if there was ever an update, and like she even searched around Reddit to post in the confession subreddit. So I just think, okay, she got that off her chest, right? And she told us everything, so to speak, meaning like just kind of like her situation with her ex. So once she spilled the beans, I don't think she would post an update, because mind you, she said she was over him. And cheaters, they be like full of pride that if they mess up and go back on their word, they're definitely not going to want to post on Reddit, because people are going to snatch they're going to snatch her soul. If she comes back to Reddit and she starts talking about, I gave in and I got back with my ex, and I'm still cheating on my husband. Do you know that subreddit, that section that she posts that story, it's going to get locked. It's going to get shut down, because the things that people will say, right? Listen, I don't agree with everything that everyone says, right? But who am I to tell someone, be nice to her? You're wrong for being mean. Stop cursing at her. Nope. I'm just going to watch the flames go up. So yeah. You're trying to learn Spanish, but it's a slow process. Well, I would say keep going, and it's helpful if you're able to practice with someone. But I know since Corona, all that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, let me just be real. I wasn't up there practicing with people. I was watching movies, okay? And then later on in my life, I was able to visit Mexico a few times, and when I was in Mexico, I just spoke Spanish the whole time. That way people won't charge me more, and people have more respect towards me if I can speak their language, because anywhere I ever traveled in the world, I did not want to speak English. I always try to learn the local language. I've been to Kenya, and I just try to learn some Swahili before I got there, and I did just fine. And I mean, in Kenya, they speak English too as well, but I just didn't want to be seen from perspective of I could just be taken advantage of because I don't know the language. I went to Egypt. I could speak Arabic there. And I had friends from Lebanon, all kind of place. My life is so if you want to say, I know it's so cliche, but colorful. I just love being around so many different people. Okay, welcome back, Jamar27. Listen, you went AWOL. I was feeling some kind of way. But I hope you're doing well. Yes, the stream it abruptly ended because you know what? That happened to me before. I think there was some connection issue, because YouTube didn't say to me oh, your video, it has to stop, your lives have to stop because you're saying inappropriate things. No, because I know how that works. I just think the connection with the stream. So Pladra, I hope you're trying to learn Spanish as well, but besides that, I hope nobody goes through that. Yeah, so it's a really messy situation, but to compromise someone's health and safety, all in the name of you cheating and hiding it because you're sneaky. That lady, she's sneaky, and even I couldn't be friends with somebody who's a cheater. That's just weird, what would they do to you in your friendship, So yes, Jamar27, the other stream, it ended, but I will keep that up so people can listen to the narration of that story, and obviously if they want to leave their comments. But after you left, we were just talking about just a couple of things, still talking about the story, and just talking just about other things in life. That's it. So I don't think you missed too much. So anyone who just joined the live, welcome. I hope you're doing well. And like when I ask people how are you doing, I actually mean it. Like I don't mind knowing, you know. And that way I can send out some positive vibes to you via YouTube. But I think the live, I'm going to end it soon because I reached the goal that I wanted to. Like I mainly cuz I just said I got to get this story out, and I want to try to make it on a live so that I can at least catch a couple of people, you know? And if you're subscribed to my channel, like that's cool, you know? I feel like, I guess, how do I feel? Like a cool kid or something like that. I feel like you guys want to make me blush, you know? Because people, it's your choice, like who you want to follow on YouTube, if you want to subscribe or not. Because, and it's okay if you don't subscribe, because some people, you might not like their content, and that's absolutely cool, you know? But like I read my YouTube analytics, and there are some people who, like, they might come to my channel and they just keep returning. You know, YouTube shows you in analytics like, oh, these people are returning and they're watching videos, but they still aren't subscribed. So that's an interesting aspect you have to wonder about. But like, I don't know. I just can appreciate communicating with you guys. It's been cool. Oh, and if you've joined the live, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. Like, people say it's supposed to help your analytics or whatever, or help your channel or videos be seen, but I guess I'll say it and test it out. Can you hit the like button? Thanks. So, once again, any new people joining the live, you can watch the previous video. It's on my channel, and it's the other live that I did that it has the actual narrated story in there. Azazel, you said you started following me back in 1968. I realized I would never return back. What was going on in 1968? Well, I know my mom wasn't born yet. 1968. It was oh my gosh, wasn't that like a lot of stuff with civil rights and stuff going on and all that, a lot of drama. Like I feel like the world probably was like, they had gas. Like if the world was a person, they were definitely bloated. It was a lot of chaos going on. Jamar 27, you said I wanted to go to Reddit and read some stories, but the stories will almost likely end up on YouTube. That's very true. And I know some people who they put out videos like every 20 minutes or something, and I'm like, wow, they're like a beast. Like they just crank videos out. But like I have responsibilities in life, obviously. You know, I have work to do. I have stuff to do in my home as well. And so when I can put a video out, I try to. And so because I don't feel the pressure, because, you know, I just don't feel that pressure. Like, oh my gosh, I have to get a video out or they're gonna hurt me. No, it's just that I actually like posting videos, so it's fun. And it's fun to actually talk about them and discuss them. Oh, Jamar 27, was my comment before last blocked? I'm not sure. Well, if it was blocked, then it probably wasn't me. You know what? I had to put I had to pin a comment on my channel in some of my videos to let people know that if your comment disappears, it's definitely not me, because YouTube, they're very sensitive to certain language that people use. Now, here's the funny part. Like, I would see some people curse in the comment section, right? Or say some kind of words that people were like, oh, those are bad words. YouTube is going to take them down. But YouTube is selective with what they take down. I feel like if you're talking a certain way about a certain group of people, whether it be like you're talking about men in a certain way or talking about women in a certain way, because mind you, the subject that we're talking about is like cheating, right? So there's going to be some bad things that are said about women, and YouTube, yeah, it's not going to allow that, because they're going to deem that as like, oh, you're being hateful, right? when you're just stating your opinion about the situation. It's not like you're wishing harm to anyone at all. But YouTube, the censorship, man, it's out of this world. So that's why sometimes, like, when I make a video, I have to think about certain words that I use. Like, well, I'm just narrating the video, but certain words within in the whatever the person posts, I have to look at that. So some stories on Reddit that I will not post because of the language that's being used, that YouTube might say, you know what, this is not right, and they'll just remove it. They don't even give a warning. Because I posted comments on some people's like channels before in the past, and I'm like, dang, that comment just, I will post it and it's immediately gone. And I'm like, is this person just deleting my comments? And it wasn't even bad. So I've had that experience myself. So I just think, like, if you post something, just make sure you like try to copy it before you post it. That way, if it disappears, you know, you could just kind of reword it in a certain way. Jamari 27, you said, yeah, I put a certain word in that second to last comment and it seems like it was blocked. Probably so. I would just say, just learn how to reword your comments better. That's what I do. I try to improvise. And it's so sad, like, the level of sensitivity, you know, especially if it's content that obviously it's not made for kids, then, you know, and you're not saying anything that's obviously wishing harm against someone, but just for you to have your opinions and talk about your experiences, can you believe it's getting censored? You know, and YouTube wants it to be ad friendly, so it's wild, right? Yeah, but I'm sorry to hear about that, because someone else was upset at me on one of my videos and told me to like stop removing comments, and I was like, that's not me. So you know, and so it's like, I don't want no drama, because it's like not that serious. I'm doing this, and I don't get, my channel's not monetized. Like, I don't have a huge following like some people to be getting paid to like argue with people and go back and forth, you know. And I'm not like in no desperate situation where I need to be fighting people online and stuff. Like, if your comment got posted and it would just disappear, like, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, somebody was like really upset about thinking I removed their comments, and like, if you make videos, what's the use of making videos if you're not gonna let people comment? Like, I'm sorry. Like, for real, like, I want people to be able to express what you're saying. Like, as long as you're not talking about harming somebody, then you can say whatever you want to say, you know? I mean, you just have to know that everything you say can and will be used against you, and it's subject to review, like, by YouTube. Like, you know? And sometimes YouTube sometimes have humans actually reviewing your videos and stuff too. Like, they have robots and, you know, with their computer systems that weed out certain words and certain phrases and stuff. But they also actually have human beings that are like on standby watching some channels, especially channels with like sensitive subjects, because yeah, cheating is one of them. You know, Azazel Black, he said, what do you think of a cheater that ends their own life when they can't get their significant other back? That's on them. You know, in this life, everybody's responsible for their own actions. You understand? I don't know if that person believes in anything or any in the idea of a creator or anything, because if they do, then they'll have to worry about that judgment day. But if they don't, well, they'll be in the hellfire by themselves, you know? Because the thing is, on earth, people create their own fire. You know? People always think that, well, if they die or something, they're going wherever they're going. Let me tell you, you can have heaven or hell on earth. Most cheaters, they create that in their life. They create that in their families. You're creating a hell for your family on earth. And then I'm sorry, but you want me to be sad that you're offing yourself? No, that's you and your responsibility. It's not my responsibility to sit there and be sad about you removing yourself from this planet. You know? It's unfortunate the path that they chose to take, but It's not me. I didn't do it, right? Like, let them take responsibility, even for their passing. Yes, you, Jamar27, you said, so OP is remedial, and I hope someone outs her. And her husband, yeah, hopefully her husband finds out before the children are involved. It's a scary situation because that guy is crazy, you know? And when she starts having children, like, who knows if he thinks the children will be his, you know, you never know. You know, you never know if they meet up, so you're not really going to know who's the father until a paternity test is done, right? And so he could be somebody crazy that just doesn't care and assumes that every child she will have will be his. You know, he thinks that she belongs to him and whatever comes from her body belongs to him, right? It's sick. And see, if she's married, her husband, like, there are like certain paternity laws that her husband can even have custody of the child even if it's not his. It happens like that. It's a very messy situation. Greetings to anyone just joining the live, but I'm going to wrap it up in a bit. Definitely. I appreciate you guys, talking to you guys, and yeah, it's been wonderful. So I have to like see about that other live video as well to see like what's going on with that, to see if it's still even there, you know. But anyone have any last thoughts or anything or questions? Is that okay? Catch you next time? Yes. Absolutely, Jamar. Thank you for joining. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Duke of Hampton YouTube. Okay, so you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you around in these YouTube streets. Okay, bye.